One sec. No, I'm not ready. Who's here? Oh, yoi. Hello. Right. Yeah. I guess I'm ready.
All right.
Oh, I've done it. I've managed it. Okay.
Is that working? All right. Good evening. Welcome to Sick and Wrong, the world source for antisocial commentary. One of your hosts, Simon.
And I'm the other one, Kate Rambo. Hello.
Hey, Rambo. I got the post Thanksgiving shits,
That's
like
very.
most Americans
That
do. Right
is too honest, and it's also what not my generation, the one below me would call TMI. TMI, David.
You did not celebrate Thanksgiving properly if you don't take at least 3 dumps the next day. And
Well,
I'm not talking just like a couple, little nuggets. I'm talking like real dumps, like an
there's
American.
literally only one country that celebrates Thanksgiving, and guess what? It's not the country that rules the world. I don't
Wow.
live in this country.
You will soon, and you'll be taking a Thanksgiving dump just like me. The
Can we
key,
have side by side toilets?
like my sister. The key to enjoying Thanksgiving, though, is, and a lot of Americans already know this, you need to starve yourself for at least 48 hours beforehand. Some Americans do 72, and this will make room for all the food that you'll eat on Thanksgiving Day. Because the goal is to eat at least twice your body weight.
I hate this already. I don't want to participate in this
It's
holiday
very
thing.
carb intensive, and you win Thanksgiving if you eat the most and if you have the most dumps the next day.
Oh, is that how you win at Thanksgiving, is it? Is that how traditionally the pilgrims celebrated?
Well, kind of, but it also still is applicable to modern times because this mainly applies to the Midwest and the East Coast where it gets much colder. But if you eat enough on Thanksgiving, then you're able to successfully hibernate inside your trailer for the winter months. So
Can
you
I
put
just say
on the Thanksgiving holiday weight.
that would kind of make sense over here? We were just battered by 100-mile-per-hour winds. I would like to have hibernated through that like a big old bear with a
That's
like a stomach full of pie. That would have been
you could
nice.
gorge yourself on like sweet potatoes
No, I
and
hate sweet potato.
turkey and stuffing and all the other gross Thanksgiving food that they fucking shove down their throats. But it's like winter cold places like Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, they get really cold. So you need this Thanksgiving weight. Like Wisconsin. That's why the women there weigh at least 100 pounds more than women everywhere else.
Are you saying the women of Wisconsin are homely, D. Simon?
I'm just saying they're large. Same with Michigan. You have to be. It's geographical. You'd freeze. And the thing is, back in the day, you're supposed to shed, that weight by the summer. Don't need to do that anymore because now
Well,
you just proudly display your round body in a two piece bathing suit at the lake. It's fine.
I think
Get on
yeah,
your
there's
pontoon
also
boat,
global warming
let it hang.
happening too. Why not, man? Let it all hang out. I'm pretty sure in caveman days they let it all hang out. The caveman didn't give a shit.
Well, but that's the thing. Now you just tag these pontoon boat photos in your bikini or what you can barely see of your bikini. Just tag it with like thick THICC and it's fine.
You know what I
There.
do hate? I am about to get on a Steele rant. Hello, John Steele. Thinking of you always. Every day, John Steele, I think of
Yeah,
you.
I'm sure he listens every
I'm sure
episode.
John Steele does. But I think he is right. Thick is not fat. Thick is Marilyn Monroe. Like where you are curvy, but your stomach is still flat and you're just a big gal. Thick does not mean fat. And them the fat movement taking thick and making it their own, it disgraces me.
That's what I'm saying. Is they've taken thick was THICK into THICC, and now it's just fat girls embrace that hashtag.
Well, it's not right, I tell you. Being overweight is just as deadly to your health as being underweight. But I won't get
Doesn't
on my
matter.
soapbox, just like
You're
you're not
thick.
getting on your soapbox about Thanksgiving. But let it go.
Well, you're going to love this time of year because this is where we thank the Indians, Feather, not Slurpee, for saving us with their special Indian corn. It's called maize.
Maize. So
Yeah,
maize is just corn, isn't it? There's no difference. It's just what they called corn.
I have no fucking clue. I think
Like
just
corn on the cob.
that's corn.
That's what they offered you guys to stop you from starving. Corn.
I think what happened is so let me tell you the history. I didn't grow up in this country, obviously. So
Well,
a
neither
lot
did
of this
I.
information is secondhand hearsay, things I've heard over the years and I've cobbled together in to really, I guess, formulate my own history of Thanksgiving. So the Pilgrims, they came here in what, late 17th century, I think, late
Yeah, something
16th
like
century.
that. My dudes got on a boat, came over. Best of my dudes.
Well, they were persecuted by the English for religious reasons. So the Pilgrims,
Too right.
well, they didn't want to be beheaded every time they committed adultery and had to ask for a divorce. So they're like, fuck this. Now let's get out of here.
I thought
Make
it
a
was the real pious dudes though, and we were like, "Fuck it, we just want to shag everyone." Is it not the
Well,
other
I
way
thought,
around?
the Catholics would give you a divorce and the Pilgrims are Protestants, right?
Up until Henry VIII. This is getting too deep for me now. At
I
this
don't
time
know.
of the morning.
Anyway, they came over on 4 boats. There was the Mayflower, there's the Pinto, the Plymouth, and the Pacer. And
Pinto. Pinto bean.
no, the Pinto. I think it was called like the Pinto Maria or something.
Oh, you're
Anyway,
not making that up.
no, this is, I'm pretty sure this is the boats that they you can read about. Anyway, they settled in Massachusetts and they were led by Cotton Mather, Strom Thurmond, a guy named Jebediah, I think. I'm not sure. And then the guy that found the Jesus sunglasses and started the Mormons. Remember that guy, Joseph Smith?
Harrison with the
No,
Jesus sunglasses.
no, he found like those Jesus, like angel sunglasses that you could read the Mormon tablets with.
What
Joseph
about
Smith,
the what about the dude who disappeared at Roanoke? Which one was he?
I don't think he was a pilgrim, was he?
I don't know, but he's the guy I probably would have followed.
Nah, you'd have followed the guy with the Jesus sunglasses. He was rad.
That's probably true. Jim Jones. Yes, I am for Jim
Anyway,
Jones on this journey.
they weren't prepared for the weather. The weather
Duh.
like for the nor'easters, the weather of North America. So what happens? They're freezing to death. They're starving. They didn't know how to make food. And the Indians were like, "We're going to give you some food." And then what we did is we gave them smallpox blankets in return.
The
And
English
then,
are wankers, man.
and then we just started killing all the local sluts that we call witches. Because there's some backsass from those sluts.
I agree. It's the English way. Just be wankers. Every new country we go into, just get a bad reputation, and that's how the English set up shop.
Well,
It's
they are
our
the worst.
way.
But
Oh,
anyway, what happened is we were going to die, and the Indians gave us all this food. We had a big Thanksgiving feast. But the most important thing to come out of Thanksgiving is the bog cloth, which I believe people still use bog cloths in Northern England and Scotland to this day, right?
please explain to me what a bog cloth is.
Well, my dad always had one. It's much like the shit hanger. I've always thought it was an English custom. And he used to say, like, you need to be prepared if you don't have toilet paper. And it was kind of like a handkerchief, but it was like grittier. It was like thicker, like more durable than just like a handkerchief. And basically you just used it, for wiping. And you put it in your back pocket. Or I think English women carry it in their purse, like Northern English women.
I don't have a bog cloth. I have maybe a cum towel or a cum handkerchief because accidents happen, but I don't have anything
Never
to
had
wipe.
what do you wipe with when you don't have toilet paper?
Do you know what's funny is I remember when when the pandemic kicked off and everyone was buying toilet paper like it was literally going out of fashion.
You just
I
gotta
did I did think, what would I do if I ran out of toilet paper? And I was umming and ahhing over it. I was like, I've got all these books. I probably have like maybe like what 500 books. And then it hit me. I was like, I could just use a fucking t-shirt.
Well, that's pretty much a bog cloth.
It's just a t-shirt, right? It's just like a t-shirt from a support band that you saw in the year 2000 that you don't give a shit about. That's a bog cloth. That's what I'm going to start calling all my cum towels now is bog cloth.
But I think that's what happens. Like, English people didn't realize that there's disposable bog cloths, and plus they're cheap. I'd say on the whole, English people are definitely frugal, not cheap, frugal. And I think you were like, I'm not going to waste my money on this like temporary paper that I wipe my ass with and flush. I'd rather just carry my bog cloth around. And then when I need it, I would use it, put it back in my pocket, wash it maybe a couple times a month. There you go.
That's why the English smell.
And one of the many reasons. But that's the thing, it's gross. And so Americans solved the problem for you guys, much like we did with the German problem a few decades later.
Oh, you stop that. We got into that last episode. Not again.
I think it might have been Strom Thurmond who was taking his like fourth Thanksgiving dump and was like, fuck this bog cloth bullshit. What if we had a cheap type of cloth paper that I could wipe my ass with? And I think that's how it all started there, Kate Rambo.
Is this your in-depth study? Is this your thesis? Your sheetist,
I'm
you
just
will.
saying, this is the sick and wrong history of toilet paper.
It's
Because
coming.
believe me, I've used a lot the past couple days. I think most Americans have, you know. But people. The thing is, and I know, I'm obviously making a little fun with the bog cloth, but people have had to wipe their ass with something. We've been shitting for thousands of years.
Can I just talk about I still don't know how the free seashells work. Did you ever figure it out? How did the free seashells work? Was
When
one
people
for
wipe
like
their ass with
scooping
seashells.
from Demolition Man? And he makes the point of it. It's an inside joke where she's like, "Oh, you don't know how the free seashells work. We did away with toilet paper years ago because we have the free seashells."
I don't think I remember this.
It's one of
We
the main things I remember from that
said
film.
something to Stallone about it, and Stallone had to wipe his ass with seashells.
Stallone doesn't know how it works, and they all laugh at him. They're like, "Oh, toilet paper got banned years ago. We have the free seashells now, buddy." It's
How
like,
does it
but
work?
even that's what I mean. Even I've like spent years, hours pondering how the free seashells would work. Like, do you just like scrape your ass with one and then use the other one to clean the other seashell? What's the other seashell for? Why is there a third one? Is it
I
because
don't see why you'd use a
three is the
sea.
magic number?
Why wouldn't
They're
you use like a
seashells.
sponge?
The other thing about the seashells is that they're pearlescent. They're beautiful. They don't look like any shit has ever touched them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why would you use a sea sponge?
I don't
A
I
bog
don't know
sponge.
why there's a lot we could talk about it from Demolition Man, but
But
I want
anyway, people have had to wipe their ass with something, whether it be shells, whether it be a bog cloth. The most common solution over time was just to grab what was at hand: coconuts, shells,
yes,
snow,
snow.
moss, corn cobs, sheep's wool. And later on, thanks to the printing press, you had newspapers and magazines, almanacs, things like that. But what was popular depended kind of on region and personal preference as well as wealth. So rich people often, wipe their rich anuses with hemp, lace, or wool. Poor,
Lace. I'm sorry, I
yeah,
can get behind lace. I can get behind
it'd
that.
be
That's
soft on your anus.
oh,
Why
that's
not?
decadent.
Poor people, on the other hand, would often simply have to just shit in a river and clean off with the water, or just rags or wood shavings, like a handful of wood shavings, and wipe your ass with that.
Like you're a cat.
Or apple husks was a very common thing amongst the poor. Seaweed, ferns, pretty much whatever you had in hand that was cheap or free. Now, the thing is, though, toilet paper, as we know it today, wasn't invented till like the 1800s, but there were wiping items that were used by historical cultures such as the ancient Romans. So what the Romans did is, and this is also in public restrooms, they had a sponge on a stick that would sit in salt water. So the sponge on the stick would be in salt water and be placed back in the salt water when it was done. So you just pretty much took the sponge off that was on the stick out of the salt water. You wiped your ass with it, just put it right back in the shit bucket.
Right. Can I just say that firstly, my first instinct to that is fucking gross because you're washing yourself with someone else's rag on a stick. And my second reaction to that is I wash myself with a rag on a stick.
Yeah, but the salt water would disinfect it.
Gross
Ancient Greek,
though.
they would use stones and pieces of clay, which I imagine would make it a little more muddy down there, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't get the well, clay, if you get the right texture of it, is just kind of like a stone, isn't it? And then that's maybe more like the free seashells of Demolition Man because you can like scrape it
Well,
off.
I'm
But
sure the poor people would use seashells.
I would rather use a leaf. Wouldn't you just be like a leaf is gonna feel better than a stone against my asshole?
I'm
Who's
only
ever
gonna use,
wanted a stone against their asshole?
I'm only using lingerie, just lace.
Lace from now on, baby. So decadent and satin. Maybe some fur.
So back during this era, America's favorite wiping items tended to be corn cobs. Very useful. You eat the corn. Well, I mean, it could absorb a lot. It could hold a lot of fecal matter. So you could just wipe with it. It's got it's more of a utensil, so you just kind of wipe
I was
it.
gonna say, are you sure that the Americans weren't shoving it up inside themselves to definitely make sure that they were clean?
You have to be thorough when you clean your anus. Later on, the pages of a Sears and Roebuck's catalog or the Farmer's Almanac became very, very popular. If you think about it, you had reading and wiping material all in one, which a lot of people said that about my book, which I don't know if I agree with that, but that's fine. Then now the 16th century French writer, Francois Rabelais, in his work Gargantua and Pantagruel, he notes that after pooping, he thought paper was pointless. Who his foul tail with paper wipes shall at his ballocks leave some chips. You understand what he's saying?
Say that again for the
Who
peanut
his
gallery.
foul tail with paper wipes shall at his bollocks leave some chips.
Oh, so if you are wiping your asshole with paper, then you're gonna leave some little nuggets near your bollocks.
Dingleberries.
Some
Exactly.
dingleberries.
It was a problem with the French. It was a problem that plagued the French for generations.
I
So
don't
what
think the French women would care. Let's just put that out there.
what Rabelais recommended was the neck of a goose that is well downed. That works best. Now that could be softer than lace if you think about it.
Oh, the French. Yes, but goose are very territorial creatures. Have you ever been around a goose? A gander? Have you ever gandered a goose?
Well, I'm
A goose
thinking
a
you
gander?
probably a dead goose. You're not using a live goose to
Oh
wipe
my,
your ass.
well, I'm telling you, if you were using a live goose to wipe your ass, you would soon lose your bollocks. They would eat them.
Now, in India and other Middle Eastern countries, and many areas of the north of England, the preferred method was to wipe using nothing but your left hand in water.
Why do
And
you
then,
say North of England?
I'm just saying, Americans changed a lot for you guys. Just put it that way. But you're supposed to wash your hand well afterwards, and don't handle any food, with the wiping hand. Just handle food with the non-wiping hand.
This is before soap was invented as well. It's just like just wash your hand in like the river that's flowing nearby. You'll be fine.
I like this for seamen.
Oh,
The common thing was used to use old frayed anchor cables and a bit of seawater for rinsing. That's like a pirate bidet.
yes. Add more salt into the semen and see what happens.
The Inuits and other people living in the more frigid regions would tend to take clumps of snow, like wiping snow. Like have you ever seen the black snow, the brown snow?
Wiping
Um,
snow.
they would have wiping snow. It was an Eskimo bidet. That's what that was.
That makes more sense to me than a stone, though, because the snow
Or
will like
clay.
yes it will be like cold and it'll make you like purse up, but it's still water essentially. That's going to give you the most for a cleaning than anything else. And cold water kills germs.
The neck of a goose that is well downed gives you the best cleaning.
Very
Now,
Frenchy.
toilet paper. The first reference in history of toilet paper dates back to the 6th century AD in the Chinese imperial courts and amongst other wealthy citizens of China. Um, there was an annual manufacture of around 10 million packages of toilet paper in the Zhejiang province alone. And this is like this is around like the 14th century. So they had already been using toilet paper. I wonder if what the Egyptians must have used.
Oh, the Egyptians probably had something very fancy, I would imagine. Maybe a cat,
I could have, yeah, a
a
hairless
shit
cat.
cat.
But the toilet paper from China didn't really catch on with the rest of the world. A Muslim traveler to China in the 8th century noted the Chinese are not careful about cleanliness and they do not wash themselves with water when they've done their necessities. They only wipe themselves with paper.
Can I say that that is totally the opinion of Eastern Europeans to this day? They think we are animals for only using dry toilet paper. You got to use like the wet toilet paper, the wet wipes.
Are you using what? But what about like just bidets in general? We're gonna
Yeah,
get
they
to
would
Japan and all that,
talk
but
about that later on. But definitely, the Eastern European think we are crazy animals. We're masochists for wiping our assholes with just dry toilet paper.
I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of gross. Like you're just basically just wiping the feces in more.
Yeah, I can like, for your asshole, I can understand let's use something like wet. But for your fanny, for your pussy, to me that just calls out yeast and cystitis city. You need a dry rag for your vagina.
Dog cloth.
You need a bog cloth, which is from now on what I'm gonna call it.
But that's the thing with with toilet paper, especially like post Thanksgiving. I mean, it's like peanut butter and a shag carpet. Toilet paper's not gonna do much.
This is such a pleasant episode. I hope everyone's eating breakfast or dinners while they're listening to
Americans know what I'm talking about. We've all just eaten a lot of food the past couple of days.
it.
you know? Um, so when did toilet paper really get its start, Kate
Tell
Rambo?
me. I don't know. In my mind, I want to say, other than, China had that spree where they just fucking invented everything. I want to say the 1950s.
Actually, 100 years earlier. Toilet paper was invented in 1857 by a New York entrepreneur named Joseph Gaiety.
Oh, what a lovely name.
He claimed his medicated sheets prevented hemorrhoids. I think we have a picture of Joe Gaiety.
Joking.
Yeah, so he used aloe infused sheet. There it is. There's the medicated paper. They're called
I love
Gaieties.
this picture. This picture gives me extreme Steve MRE 1989. Like, this is Steve MRE. He probably owns some of these.
Do you think he's ever used one?
No. He has used the toilet paper that comes in rations though, because he talks about it.
Well, so these are the first products really designed to wipe one's asshole. It's aloe infused sheets of Manila hemp dispensed from like these boxes. And Joseph Gaiety claimed that these sheets had medicinal usage. And he was so proud of his bathroom paper that he had his name, Gaiety, printed on all the sheets.
Why
But
not? Good for him.
well, his success was kind of limited and short lived because Americans had already become accustomed to wiping with a Sears catalog. So why spend money, on another item? Like why
Would
spend
this
money
be at
to wipe for free?
posh people's houses only?
Well, probably because his toilet paper sold at the time for 50 cents a pack. So 50 cents for one of these packs, which would be about $14 today.
Holy shit. That's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
So it
I'm
had
not
to have been
spending that.
affluent people. Yeah.
Like,
I'm
give me
good. The
some
next picture, the
lace.
next picture is actually Mr. Gaiety himself. There he is. Perforated paper. And it came with about 500 sheets per package. But yeah, once again, people are like, I'm not spending $14 on this. I can wipe with my hand.
As a
You know,
woman, can I just say your 500 sheets last me a day? Thank you, sir.
women do tend to use a lot of toilet paper.
Well, we have to use it for ones and twos. Thank you very much. Just to
That
give
is
you a
true.
bit of like a scientific lesson there.
Now, in 1890, toilet paper technology definitely moved quite a bit forward. Two brothers named Clarence and E. Irvin Scott popularized the concept of toilet paper on a roll. Revolutionary concept. And so then around like just around that time, they were selling products from a push cart. This is before they actually came out with toilet paper. And they started making and selling toilet paper as just one of the things that they would go around and sell from their cart to local people and factory workers and things like that. The Scott's brand name became more successful than Gaiety's medicated wipes, mainly because they would sell the toilet paper to hotels and drugstores and allow the hotels to brand it. So if you see, I think the next picture here, you see a Waldorf hotel. This is like a picture of their own branded toilet paper. There it is. Waldorf Hotel would make their own, but all the hotels would have their own Scott branded toilet paper.
This is
So they had
also, in Rocky Horror. I know you're not a fan, but there's a point where they go, "Great Scott," and you have to throw Scott toilet
Scott
paper.
toilet paper. Well,
Yeah.
you can get Scott toilet paper.
Oh, can you? Is that a thing in America? It doesn't exist over here.
No, no, it's you can definitely get Scott toilet paper. Unfortunately, my family had no connection to that, create toilet paper whatsoever. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was an innovative concept because here they're actually doing marketing. They're allowing these, hotels to sell to basically brand their own toilet paper to sell it, and it wasn't coated with like aloe and medicated. Their product was just rolls of somewhat soft paper, although splinters would occur every now and then.
So that's like basically your Tesco value toilet paper to this very day.
Well, you can get the rough toilet paper. It almost
You
feels
take
more
your
like Purell.
Yeah, it's like tracing paper. You're taking your
Yeah,
life in your hand with every wipe.
I like the double ply, the soft stuff. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
do you? Because you're precious, precious baby.
But in 1935, Northern Tissue, which is another big toilet paper brand here, they boasted a splinter-free toilet tissue in an advertisement. So I think it was kind of common for you to occasionally get a splinter in your asshole every now and then. Now, it didn't really catch on in the beginning because Americans, we have puritanical values. It was taboo. You didn't want to talk about bodily functions. So the Scott brothers were very ashamed of their, the nature of their work. So they never really took proper credit for their toilet paper on a roll invention until around 1902.
So when they went to family functions, this is totally like Romeo and Michelle, right? They are like the male version of Romeo and Michelle. And when they would go to family functions, they would pretend that they did other stuff other than invent toilet
To
paper
save
for
face, yeah,
shame.
they're embarrassed.
Oh my, I feel sorry for the Scott brothers. They should have just been like, do you know what? We invented toilet paper, and one day you're going to appreciate it.
Kay Rambo, here's a book you probably already have at least two copies in your library. It's a book written by Dave Prager, Poop Culture: How America is Shaped by Its Grossest National Product.
This is your
And so
favorite book.
the author here, Dave Prager, said no one wanted to actually ask for toilet paper by name. It was so taboo you couldn't even talk about it. But by 1930, the German paper company Haeckel began using the tagline, "Ask for a roll of Haeckel and you won't have to say toilet paper."
Oh, to stop the shame. Hakel sounds kind of worse. Like I don't want to wipe my pussy with a hakel. It sounds like a disease.
Yeah, but don't you think if you lived in Germany, everybody would know what you're referring to?
Also,
Like what you're going to do with that Haeckel?
a passa meinen Hakel. That's how it would have sounded.
Um, but as time went on, obviously, and decades passed, toilet tissue became as American as apple pie. But the real acceptance of the product didn't really occur until a new technology demanded it. And the new technology was sit down flush toilets tied to indoor plumbing systems. Because when you had like an outhouse where people wouldn't shit outdoors, you didn't necessarily have to have toilet paper.
I
I mean,
imagine it would get nicked, wouldn't it? Somebody would come along and nick anything that was in
yeah,
your outhouse.
but you need to, now with indoor plumbing and with sit down flush toilets, you need a product that could be flushed away with minimal damage to the pipes. So corn cobs obviously would be problematic.
You're lying
Seashell.
about that.
Well, I'm saying there's going to be some drainage clogs there. So toilet paper soon, like the ads for toilet paper were boasting that the product's recommended by both doctors and plumbers. So at this point, it became something that, could easily be flushed down. Um, but in, I think it was probably 1928, the Hoberg Paper Company, they tried a different approach with toilet paper because I think at the time you had the Scott branded toilet paper, and a lot of it was marketed towards women. It's like a feminine hygiene type product, but mostly it had to do with hygiene and like a medicinal product. But Hoberg decided to try a different approach. They introduced a brand called Charmin, and they
Okay.
fitted the product with a logo that depicted a beautiful woman. So here it was like, they were trying to like emphasize softness, femininity. It was something that you didn't actually focus on what it's being used for. You focused on who's using it.
Can I just point out the differences in how you say it? Because over here we call it Charmaine.
Charmaine, you say that?
That's
It's
how
Char,
it's pronounced. You'd be like, oh, get the Charmaine.
but there's not. It's not even spelled. That's not even spelled phonetically. It's
Charmaine.
Charmin. Charmin.
Charmaine. That's how you say it over here. Not joking.
um, Well, Charmaine was very successful. Their marketing strategy here went over with leaps and bounds, and it helped the brand survive the actual Great Depression. Um, Also, in 1932, they began marketing economy-sized packs of 4 rolls. No one did that. They just sold the single rolls. So now you can get 4 rolls, and I think that definitely helped market the product. Um, Decades later, though, they definitely changed their type of advertising. And people might remember this because when I was doing some research here, I was like, I remember Charmin ads as a kid. And they did. They had this because back then there was like a lot of memorable 80s ads in the States, like Wendy's, "Where's the beef?" was a very famous one. Charmin was "Don't squeeze the Charmin." So if you show a picture here, this guy was like famous across every American household, Mr. Whipple. And I remember even at the time, I thought this guy, oh yeah, there's a Scott tissue ad here about
Oh,
when
she's
you're
miserable.
susceptible. So that's why you need toilet paper.
There
But
he
there
is.
he is. There he is. There's Mr. Whipple. It's telling people not to squeeze the Charmin, but inevitably he will squeeze it himself
Why is
because
this baby so distressed on the Charmaine? Why
this
is he so
30-year-old man is
distressed?
squeezing.
That you don't want to have a distressed baby as any point of your like artwork or promotion. I would say this to this man.
Yeah, I would probably just show like a satisfied anus, like something that's not
Okay, goatsy.
just like maybe, an anus that's not like you know,
Satisfied
inflamed.
anus.
Well, I'm saying it's not inflamed or splintered because of the soft toilet paper.
What does a satisfied anus look like?
I don't know, I mean, it could be well, it's not gonna look, it's not gonna look like a baboon's ass. It's like swollen. That's
It's
what I'm
just
saying.
like it's just puckered just right, like it's nearly smiling.
Just a chocolate starfish, you
Oh
know.
my god.
But what the thing is, though, I just remember these ads as being exceptionally creepy. Isn't he kind of creepy, Mr. Whipple?
He's
I
got
know
a bit of like
loved it.
Salvador Dali's Nancy brother-in-law type vibe going
He
on.
definitely has a bit of a Nazi look to him. So anyway, the ads all kind of had the same deal, and we can play one here. But there, it was always about like someone was trying to squeeze a Charmin, and he'd freak out on them. So let me play this. Ready? So here it is.
First she squeezes the tomatoes, then she squeezes the melons, and
Dirty
now
bitch.
squeezing the Charmin. Please don't squeeze the Charmin.
But this is new Charmin bathroom tissue. It's a squeeze and stuff.
Mrs. Logan,
I just can't resist it.
if you only knew, Mrs. Logan, I can't resist it myself.
See,
I like to sneak a squeeze on the slide.
creepy.
Squeezably soft. And that fragrant Charmin is added. Nice touch.
Mr. Whipple, please don't squeeze.
Almost
the
like a
Charmin.
pervert. Like she saw something that
Well,
She
Mrs.
sh-
Logan's a pervert too. She can't talk.
It at home. New Charmin bathroom tissue. Squeezably soft.
So there you go. See, the "don't squeeze the Charmin" was like the big tagline. I think this next one. I think this next one was it's not a current ad of theirs, but there's another one because he started doing it in the 50s, 60s, 70s, I think up to 80s before Whipple retired. So let's play the second one here.
Oh my goodness, he had a long-running career.
Now, repeat after me. Please don't squeeze the Charmin.
Please don't squeeze the Charmin.
Once again.
Once again,
Please.
please don't squeeze the Charmin.
There. That'll keep him from squeezing new Charmin bathroom tissue.
Do you think the bird's really
Please
saying that?
don't squeeze the Charmin.
No, but he's adorable.
Ah.
I just love this new Charmin. It's so deep down, squeezably soft. It's irresistible. Irresistible price, too.
How about a kiss, baby?
Soft fragrance.
That's my bird.
Please don't squeeze the Charmin. Fine job you did.
Uh-oh.
You can hardly blame them, though. So squeezably soft, I can't resist it myself.
Please don't squeeze the Charmin.
New squeezably soft Charmin bathroom tissue from Procter & Gamble. Take it home and squeeze it.
Please don't squeeze the Charmin. There you go. But you know what's like inexplicable though? If you see the Charmin ads from this day and age, which I kind of lost touch with my toilet paper advertising, mainly because I don't watch TV that much, because you don't see this on Netflix. You don't see these ads on Netflix. But I don't know who they're. Oh, here, let me press play too. I don't know who they're marketing this to.
Uh-oh. Sorry, son, but you still have them. You can't pass inspection with pieces left behind. That's why they're
Dingleberries.
Charmin Ultra Strong. Its enhanced diamond weave texture is soft and more durable. More durable so you're left with a more dependable clean. Fewer pieces left behind, plus all that Charmin softness. Looks good, son. Charmin Ultra Strong. Enjoy the go. Also try Charmin Fresh Mates for a cleaner clean.
See, that's the thing I don't understand. So what, that bear had dingleberries, and so they're saying Charmin doesn't give you dingleberries?
I think that's what they were implying, that all over toilet paper that is not Charmin gives you dingleberries.
I don't get it. And is it being marketed towards children because it's like animated with these
I
creepy
want-
bears?
I want it to be marketed back towards birds because that's my target audience. Birds.
I do like the parrot being trained to say, "Don't squeeze a Charmin." I wonder if I bet you that bird might still even be alive.
I was thinking that bird, if properly looked after, will still be alive. It's probably on its. Birds usually go for about 4 or 5 owners, so it could be on its last and final owner
Probably
by
the-
now.
He's probably in a bird sanctuary teaching all the other birds to say, don't squeeze a Charmin.
I hope he is. God bless you, bird, wherever you are.
All right, here's the last ad for this. Must be posh toilet paper because I've never even heard of this one. I definitely never used it. I'm intrigued.
Cashmere.
Cashmere is softness. Cashmere is luxurious.
Keep in mind, this is on your asshole.
Irresistible. Cashmere is now in a bathroom tissue.
That's it.
I've never heard of this one. I've never heard of cashmere toilet paper, but next time I go to the store, I'm gonna look for some though.
D, can I just point out that literally all your enemies are going to be saying like, look how far he's come. He has to podcast about toilet paper now. He's playing toilet paper adverts on his podcast.
Hey, it's apropos for post-Thanksgiving, okay?
Oh, I believe you. I've never celebrated Thanksgiving. I'll take your word for it.
So definitely by the 70s, toilet paper was ingrained within our culture. In 1978, there's a TV guide poll that named Mr. Whipple, the don't squeeze the Charmin guy, the third best known man in America behind former President Richard Nixon and Reverend Billy Graham. He was that popular.
What the fuck? I've never even heard of this man.
Well, he's a famous guy, and he definitely led to the United States spending more than $6 billion a year on toilet paper currently. Isn't that crazy?
Is that after the pandemic?
Well, that was kind of crazy too during the pandemic because there was that toilet paper shortage.
What I would have loved is if during that pandemic is that the original Mr. Whipple died of a heart attack because he was so overcome with emotion by how far the human beings had fallen.
Well, that guy had to have died like fucking.
No, he died in the pandemic in my mind. I've buried him there.
Were you guys faced with that, the toilet paper shortage?
Yeah.
Because it was crazy here. Like I remember at first I had been reading about it, but then it was, I doubt that's going to happen. But then I remember going with my ex-girlfriend to the Rite Aid and there's just no toilet paper. And it was just like gone. No paper towel. It's like, what are you supposed to use to wipe your ass?
I was very lucky because my birthday was a couple of weeks before like the first kind of panic setting in the March. And my mum for my birthday that year had done like a really big food shop with me. She paid for it all. So I had like 50 toilet papers. I didn't need no more.
Toilet paper rolls? And you just
to last me. I was already ready. I was like, this was me to last me until September. So seeing everyone panic buy, I felt like, on King of the Hill, I felt like I was just already ahead of the curve, just laughing at people going, I already have mine.
Well, a lot of people were doing. I remember going to the grocery store and seeing people with like 6, and they put limits. Like they capped you. You could only buy like 2 packs or something. You couldn't buy like 8 packs. And people are going crazy.
I did think it was funny that that's what mankind has come down to. It comes down to us being animals or having toilet paper. It's like toilet paper is very easily replaceable. Just use what were you calling it? A bog rag?
Bog cloth.
A bog rag is what I'm
going to call it. I've never heard of that before.
I've never heard of a bog rag.
Yeah, right. The toilet paper market in the United States has largely plateaued, though. The real growth in the industry is happening in developing countries because that's where like toilet paper is kind of new. They say that toilet paper revenue in Brazil has doubled since 2004. Maybe it's because of disposable income or changing demographics, but you can mark the spread of globalization by the spread of Western bathroom practices, if you think about it. Because that's a part of our culture. And I think before people never really fully embraced it, but now it's like, oh, okay, well, we have indoor plumbing, we have sit-down toilets. Let's just adopt their toilet paper.
Are we going to talk about Japanese toilets now?
Well, that's the thing. When you think about like, would America and like the Western world, like ever leave toilet paper behind? Because it's probably not the most environmentally friendly. I mean, I guess they do make biodegradable toilet paper, but production costs are rising. I mean, it costs $6 billion a year. It's how much we spend on toilet paper. Pulp has become more expensive. There's energy costs, even water has become more difficult to use, especially in like California. And toilet paper companies might need to keep hiking up their prices, especially as global warming persists. So the question is, if toilet paper becomes a luxury item, will we still purchase it? Or will we have to go find something else? And a lot of people do live without it, and such as Japan. If you look in Japan, the Toto washlet, an amazing piece of technology. I actually used it myself many times, even when I wasn't shitting, just because I enjoyed it that much. But yeah, we got a picture here of the Toto washlet. It's a toilet that comes equipped with a bidet and an air blower. Very popular. Yeah, I bet you Whipple would have been upset.
That's not that.
No, those are the Chinese toilets. I was going to get to that. In China, they still, like many places in India and China, they still use just a hole in the ground.
Hole in the ground.
But this is the high-tech Japanese toilet here.
And it's called Toto, like that awful band that I absolutely hate.
Yeah, Toto's a manufacturer, but I think it's called like the washlet. But as you can see, like there's some of these even play music. Like you can just play different music, like shit
Will it
music.
play like a Merciful Fate song? Will it play Melissa as you're defecating?
I don't know if
Because that would be very romantic.
I don't know if you can program it, but that'd be kind of cool.
Or does it just play like little jingles to spur you on?
Islands in the stream.
I've just seen the like the what the pictures on the buttons. So like there's air being blown into your asshole and there's water being blown.
It feels amazing. It feels amazing.
No wonder you spent 9 days in Japan with
Check
toilets
out
like
the
this.
next picture down. This is more of like a close-up of it. Most of the toilets,
Oh,
that's the Chinese one.
I've got that twice. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you mean this one?
You're fired. No, but, they show you like the toilet. Usually they're not super elaborate, but it's usually on the arm of the toilet is like the control panel.
Oh, you can see it there.
Press the air and you can do all sorts of stuff with it. But yeah, as I was saying, like water, and as I was mentioning this in India, is still one of the most common methods of self-cleaning. In many places in India, the Middle East, Turkey, and Asia, they still depend on a bucket and a spigot. And you look at the Chinese toilets, the next picture there, they're just these squat toilets. Like I remember my friend P-Town was in China and he was just like, dude, it's literally a hole in the ground. Like he was on a boat on the Yangtze and there's just a hole that you could just shit right into it. And he was like, you go to the toilet and there's like, a couple turds and you had like a little brush that you can just like knock the turd in.
Well, I told you that story about in Istanbul where I went into the bathroom where it was exactly that. And then there was just a bin full of shit rags. And I had to get out, bog cloths. And I just had to. My Western sensibilities, I had to clutch my pearls. I covered up my ankles and I was out of there. I was like, I'm too Victorian for this.
I was disgusted too. I remember when I went to Turkey, I remember going in there. Luckily, I just had to piss, but I remember going in there being like, holy shit, people actually have to like squat and shit in one of these. It's supposed to be better for your digestion.
So in Japan, right? I must ask this about the women must be having orgasms. They've got to be. If there's that much water pressure being like spat at your pussy, you're coming. There's no doubt about it.
Powerful enough, though.
Oh, it'll be powerful enough. After 20 minutes.
I don't know. Maybe, but possibly. I guess maybe you can change the the power.
I thought you could change it so that it was like
it's kind of, it's more of just sort of it's not like a hard jet spray. It's not like being under like the tap in your fucking bathtub,
Well, when we go to Japan, it'll be what I'm gonna comment on.
You have to try it.
On about if the toilets make me come or not.
I'm just going to leave you with this here because this is interesting. As I was doing research, I came across something that I've always wondered. I've often wondered this myself. Blind people. How do they know when they're done wiping?
You just kind of know though.
How? If you can't see, if you can't tell.
You can just tell by like the texture of it. I can't believe we're talking about this. You just kind of know by like the texture.
But it's a very visual process. Like you wipe and you still see some shit on the toilet paper. So you throw it away, get another one, wipe again. There's still a faint trace until eventually it's gone. You're done. You've cleaned the area thoroughly. But a blind person, you're not seeing this. How would you know?
Did they smell it?
What are you saying? As if they got it on their hand? They're not
No,
gonna
do they smell the paper? Do they bring it close to their face and like, because they have super senses because their eyes don't work.
Oh, we see
So
if there's like less feces on it, possibly. But the blind, the thing is, if everyone used a bidet, I don't think it'd be a problem because they would just wipe, wash their ass in the bidet. But they don't have access to a bidet, so they only know they're clean simply based on the tactile response.
the
And
texture.
well, the tactile response, if the toilet paper still feels gritty,
That's
it's
what
still
I meant. Yes, the texture, mate. Come on. I
that's a
I
good
have
tag.
my glasses on. I kind of qualify as being partially blind. I'm a specky Becky. I just know.
That's a good tagline. If it still feels gritty, it's probably still shitty. Okay. But yeah, I guess you'd have to like pay attention to how easily or not it slides across the anus. Like a rougher glide means you gotta
Touch her off.
probably do a little more cleaning if you think about it. And once you're getting close to clean, it's probably a little more sensitive down there. It's not like you don't want an inflamed anus.
You can just tell when your asshole is kind of clean or not. You can just tell. But I mean, I would have thought if you're a
It's
blind
very
person, you
difficult.
would use wet wipes just to be sure.
I don't know. I've often wondered like that, or like people who have no arms. Like, what are they doing?
What do they do? What do people with no arms do? They must have what the Romans had, and they'll have a stick with a sponge on the end. Definitely.
But they use their flippers. I don't know. There's a lot of questions about it, but thankfully we had toilet paper, and thankfully Americans gave toilet paper to the world so you can wipe your ass after your 4th Thanksgiving dump.
Say thank you to the Chinese for inventing it first. So
Well, okay, yeah, we just marketed it a little bit better.
they invented lots of fun stuff like fireworks. Thank you, China. Ink.
We should give thanks to China.
You know what else China invented?
COVID?
Pizza.
Oh, no way.
Yes, way. They invented
thought
pizza. The
Mexicans
first
invented
recorded example of pizza is Chinese.
I thought Mexicans invented pizza. I've been to Taco Bell. They have Mexican pizza there.
I've always wanted to try the Taco
The
Bell pizza.
Aztecs. Yeah, it's
I
an ancient Aztecan recipe.
I will be thankful for toilet paper after I try the Taco Bell pizza for the first time.
Just don't forget to pack your bog cloth. People, this episode here, 819 of Sick and Wrong. I promise we'll get grosser when we get to the phone calls, which are coming up next. But first, here's a word about our Patreon page.
Mike mentioned
Everyone
this.
wants to support our Patreon page.
But do you have Andrex toilet paper in the USA? So Andrex is like the posh toilet paper over here.
Andrex? No.
The mascot of Andrex toilet paper is a Labrador puppy.
But why is it so much posher? Is it softer?
Well, it's more expensive, but it's supposed to be like you're wiping your ass with a Labrador puppy.
The Labrador puppy is very cute.
Are you looking it up now? He is very cute. I'm pretty sure that the first original Andrex puppy is long dead.
At first, I thought you were saying anthrax, and I was like, I'm not.
Yeah. The Brits like to do a lot of crazy shit, but
Andrex toilet paper.
Andrex toilet paper is little
That's
puppies.
an adorable Labrador.
And you wipe your ass with it.
Yeah, I would rather get that than some distressed baby.
I think we'd all rather wipe our ass with a Labrador than a distressed baby.
The
I can't
baby was
believe this episode.
I think it's a lot of people wondered how blind people wipe.
I can't believe that you just didn't figure it out. It's the texture. Like you can wipe your ass without having to like look at it. Do you not know that?
How would you know what color it is then?
This is going too
honestly, since I've been a smoothie guy, green.
I
It's
told
like,
you.
but it's like what the Grinch, like what I imagine the Grinch's shits would look like. It's just this like green shit.
I think the people are learning too much about your colon now. I think, and just because we're married and we had that honeymoon in York, I don't want to know this stuff. I think we need to keep some secrets from each other.
Just wait till your first Thanksgiving dump. Wait. What did you do overkill with Claudia this time?
No, overkill this week is on the shittest death in modern history. Hisashi Auchi.
The shittest death? What do you mean? The shittiest?
The shittiest death in modern history. Hisashi Auchi.
In modern history. All right.
Partly why my dreams were so messed up. The man looks like a piece of sashimi. He just looks like he's pulled pork. He looks
Ew.
like he's an empty taco shell. He looks like he's tuna roll.
Who,
Have you ever
Sashi?
seen pictures of him? Hisashi Ouchi.
Hisashi Ouchi.
Oh my god. Look at the picture of him and then you tell me. No wonder I was having like nightmares about like
What,
half-legged
get burned
people.
or something? What do you do?
Most radioactive man in history.
Oh, Hisashi Ouchi from the Tokumura.
Yeah,
I've-
don't read the whole story out because it's obviously
have heard
overkill.
Yeah.
Just look at the picture.
I've seen this picture too. Jesus Christ! You know who he reminds me of? Did you ever see that Mr. Show with David Cross was like burned? Was that band Titanica? Did you ever see that?
No, I never saw that. But that's what it is.
No, it's a funny skit. Basically, he's like a huge fan of the band, and then he listened to one of their songs, tried to commit suicide, but he jumped in a vat of acid, so his whole body's burned to shit, but his head's still normal.
Oh right, yeah. No, there was memes like that about Hisashi Ouchi, and I wondered why there was David Cross memes.
And the band's got to show up and be like, "Oh, hey, dude, you shouldn't." You shouldn't kill yourself. And he's like, I want to come on tour with you guys. And they're like, sure. And they give him like a backstage pass. And they're like, but you know what? We're going to write another song for you. Try again. Head first this time.
You know what else I've been finding hilarious? Everyone watching this Beatles documentary where they're essentially at band practice. It's
The
been
actual
funny watching. Yeah, it's been funny watching it from obviously because I've been in bands a long time. So I have like lots of band people on my Facebook and Instagram, and they're watching it going, oh, this is like band practice, so I can kind of understand it. But all the people who've never been in a band ever are acting like it is God's work happening in front of their eyes. They're like, look at Paul
watching the Beatles
McCartney.
come up
Yeah,
with
they're
this-
like, look at Paul McCartney coming in at 7 a.m. and just writing a song. It's like that's how it happens. Like there's no difference to it. I will not be watching
Man,
it.
I wish I could go back in time and stop him from writing a few of those
I wish I
songs.
could go back and just shoot them all individually, one by one. Maybe not Ringo because he's kind of innocent, and maybe not George because he went a bit
Yeah, but
whacked.
Ringo wrote some of the worst. Octopus's Garden. If I never have to hear that song again, I'm a happy man.
Sing Octopus's Garden for me.
Not even going to even humor you with that. What's the other one? Octopus's Garden's terrible. And then there's another.
We all live in
Even worse. Like, what the fuck is the deal with these nautical themed songs, Ringo?
He's not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
I like George Harrison.
I like George, but he went whacked towards the end. He went full on like God botherer type. But
Yeah,
I
but
just
they-
like Ringo.
they-
He's an innocent. Ringo was also the best looking one.
Really?
He's the most fashionable, best looking one. Paul McCartney, though, is
Let's
the
take a
devil
poll here.
himself.
People who are watching right now, who's your favorite? Like, who's the sexiest Beatle, in your opinion? If you had to fuck one Beatle, all right, fuck, marry, kill, shit on.
Ooh, okay, right. I will shit on Paul McCartney. I will marry Ringo. I'll fuck George, and I'll kill John. Because bang,
Ooh.
bang, bang. Why not?
God, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think I would just probably just kill all of them and fuck them when they're dead.
And then use some toilet paper to wipe your ass.
And use my bog cloth. All right. Do you think do English people have monogram bog cloths because they're fancier?
Should we get some for our bathroom one day? Some bog cloths, his and hers. Bog
Okay.
cloths. Why do you think we have bogs? Hello, Christina. Your friend Christina from the Hellflowers is here.
Oh, hey Christina. How's it going? We're talking about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think she's been here a while, unfortunately, listening to us, listening to this. I'm so sorry, Christina.
I'm teaching Kate about American culture. So she's learning
yeah.
about being American before she moves here.
Toilet paper only reached these shores about 10 years ago. It's still a newfangled concept for us. We had bog cloths. Bring
Bog
them
cloths
back.
and left hands.
Why are you doing a crab claw?
All right, all right.
That
we
would
got
be
some
the
questions.
motion. This
Whatever.
episode. Why would it be going up into yourself? You do it
I
like.
imagine it'd be like that.
Why would you hurt yourself like that?
No, because you got your hand going this way. You're not wiping. Do you wipe front to back or back to front?
You
Do you do
write
back?
front to back. You write front to back, so you don't get the
That's what I'm
germs in
saying.
your vagine.
You're not.
We're gonna get cancelled for this episode. Jesus Christ! If you wipe your asshole from back to front, then you're gonna get fresh. Because what is from back to front? You shouldn't be wiping your asshole from back to
I,
front because there's balls there.
yeah, but it doesn't matter. I
What
got
do you mean it
balls.
doesn't matter?
I'm not gonna get thrush. It's not like I'm gonna get thrust through my ball sack.
But you don't want your balls to smell like crap.
Well, I don't usually do that.
I thought you did by what you were
normal
just saying.
No, I'm just saying if I did, if I was going to use my hand, I would do it backwards like this, like wiping backwards. All right, enough of this topic. We got other important things to discuss.
Christina says pull a Gigi. Just stop throwing it at people.
Just chuck it.
Brilliant,
Oh, that's
brilliant.
disgusting. All right, ready? So we got a few phone calls to get to here. 323-522-4032 is the number. First call we got is a guy who's very concerned about my laminated COVID vaccine card, which is no longer needed.
Hey, Dee. I was just calling about your laminated COVID vaccination card. If you go to ca.gov and search for Smart Health Card, it takes about 5 minutes. You can register. They already have your records, and they produce a downloadable QR code that has all your vaccination information on it. And
Jesus, that's some big brother shit. So you basically sign up and they're just, wow. So they already plant a microchip in your arm and now you're just signing up on their website, just activating the chip. Come on, man.
This is like what they've got over here. This is California keeping up with the NHS. I like it.
No, I agree with that. I think it'd be a lot easier to have that. But you guys are weird about it. Like you go into a restaurant, it's like, I gotta put my phone on to get contact tracing.
Well, yeah, if you don't have it on your phone, then you have to sit there and fill out a form. I would just rather do it on my phone so I don't have to like sit and, use those words. Like I know how to spell.
What they make us do is we got to show our vax card. Like you go in, you got to show your proof of vaccination, you show your driver's license. Like they definitely have full cavity search. Yeah, they go all the way now.
Well, you're very good at cleaning your colon, as I've just
They
heard.
thank me every time.
I bet
every
they
time.
do.
So does TSA. But no, and they definitely I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to have one. To be honest, if it makes this fucking virus go away, I swear to God. But what's funny? Quick tangent. So I was saying, like, having the Vax card is like a flex on a dating app because you can be like, oh, I'm vaxxed, whatever. But you know what? Not being vaxxed seems to be a new flex. I've been seeing all these memes of girls being like, looking for an unvaccinated dick, unvaxxed dick. Well, I mean, I don't know if they're all like crazy MAGA or QAnon type girls, but there's a guy I saw on Instagram that had a shirt that's like, it said unvaccinated, ready to fuck. And he was starting his own like sperm clinic with just unvaccinated sperm because he says that's probably worth a ton of money in the next 10 years.
This is like a reverse Handmaid's Tale. No one wants your disgusting unvaccinated sperm, mate. No one wants your retarded sperm. It's
your unvaxxed sperm.
It's unvaxxed. You're an idiot, and I don't want to partake in this.
But okay, as a connoisseur of cum, what do you think tastes better, vax sperm or unvaxxed sperm, or is no difference?
I have yet to kind of really sample unvaxxed sperm. There won't be a difference.
You've had unvaxxed sperm for years.
Well, yeah, I have, I guess. It's just all
So
tastes.
do you notice a
Just
difference?
don't smoke. The only thing that changes cum texture is smoking. Any smoker out there who's listening to that going, huh, no, it really does. It makes your cum more phlegmy if you're a smoker.
What about weed?
Same with weed. If you smoke a lot of weed, it makes your cum phlegmy, like less moisture, which isn't nice to swallow and have in your mouth. So smokers, take my advice and just stop. It'll make you live longer and you'll get more blowjobs.
And your sperm are a little stupider. Like they don't know how to swim properly because they're too stoned.
Sperm are kind of adorable in a weird way, aren't they? I like drawing them. with their little
Glad
tails.
you think so.
It's kind of handy to have. Only takes 5 minutes. Anyway, congratulations on the nuptials.
Thank
You
you.
make a very
Disgusting couple.
See you later.
I like that pregnant pause there. You guys make a very happy couple.
We are definitely the couple where it's like, oh, let's get them round to come for dinner, and then we have a couple of drinks and we start talking about the history of toilet paper, and when we talk about, oh, is that how you wipe your asshole? No, this is how I wipe my asshole. And before long you're like, why did I ever do this? They're never coming around ever again.
It's interesting you say that, because I've been wondering why I'm not invited to as many Thanksgiving dinners as I used to be. I used to get like at least like 3 or 4 invitations, but this year is only one.
I'll look forward to when people are, your friends will invite me around because they'll be intrigued to meet your British wife, and I'll come over and be like, hello, governors. And I'll just be really obnoxious and like English drunk, and I'll be like, this is the way things are in my country. And then they'll
My
be like,
country got bog cloth. We don't use toilet paper. Waste of money.
disgusting.
Anyway, this next call here is remember Christina, the borderline.
Oh my God, sexy Christina. How can I ever forget Christina?
She called in here with a follow-up.
Love it.
Hi, K and D. It's Christina calling back. Thank you so much for the compliment. I'm very excited to tell you more about my mental illness.
Please do.
So I guess, borderline personality disorder can look like a lot of different illnesses, like bipolar disorder or, even narcissistic personality disorder. But the one thing it's characterized, or just a couple of things that's characterized by, is this like intense fear of rejection or abandonment, which makes so much sense because I write, but I can't submit my work because I'm so afraid of getting rejected, even though it's just so normal.
Oh, so wait, so if you're bipolar, you don't have that? That's a symptom just of borderline.
I think they're all under the same umbrella, but they're all different things. Christina, send me your writing. I'll read it. I'll read her writing.
But the fact of the matter is a lot of people do have that fear of rejection.
It's a natural human emotion, but I think what she's saying is that it literally stops her from doing things that could make her attempt goals and stuff like that. But I would totally read her writing in a heartbeat. Send me it. I'll read it. I've got a creative writing degree.
Flagpole, see who salutes it.
Yeah.
But you'll see
Words
that
of
in
Lemmy.
like other relationships too. And then, we have some impulsivity thrown in. We've got some inappropriate behavior thrown in.
No wonder she likes this podcast.
It could be a good time, but usually it is not, and ends up being a lot of crazy relationships. I'll see if I can get through this story in this phone call. Otherwise, I'll call back. But such a relationship that brought me to the point of like needing medication. I've met a Buddhist through a cousin of mine. She worked at a facility that I wasn't aware was a halfway house. But she told me, hey, you should see this guy. He's really nice. You could be friends. And he was very different than all the other guys at the halfway house.
Are Buddhists sober? Like, is that a sober thing? Buddhist or sobriety? Is that part of Buddhism?
Yes, but my first warning would have been like, he's not like all the other people in the halfway house. I mean, he's in a halfway house. He's exactly like all the others.
Probably a reason.
Yeah.
But do you remember like back, it's probably in the 90s, there were all those like hardcore bands, but they were also Buddhist, like Shelter. People remember Shelter?
I don't remember Shelter.
Branch of like these straight edge hardcore bands that were also Buddhist for some reason.
Can I say
remember
the thing I most appreciate about the Buddhists is obviously they believe in the circle of life, but they believe that everyone on their second time around becomes a pigeon, which I think is adorable because I love pigeons.
Pigeon, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody? Does anyone become a turkey?
Everyone's a pigeon the second time round. So you should be very kind to pigeons in your lifetime now because you'll become a pigeon.
And so obviously it was like, hell yeah. cut to 3 months later, and I'm engaged to this guy. And
was
that's
quick.
how crazy it had been. He had no money. He ran up all of his credit cards on me.
And Buddhists get credit cards?
And
Yeah, you wouldn't think they would want.
I
like,
thought Buddhists
material
didn't get
wealth.
money. I thought they didn't have material. This guy is like totally under the I'm a Buddhist, like I'm a straight edge, but it's I can still smoke weed type of
He's not a
deal.
Buddhist monk. I think he's like a guy that just believes in Buddhist principles.
Yeah, but you could. I don't get it. actually don't know. I'm obviously sure I'm ignorant.
use something to buy them.
Buddhism here.
Imagine it'd be credit cards.
I hate to say it, but I encouraged it.
Nice.
The craziest thing, though, was that he was a paranoid schizophrenic who believed he was being gang stalked, meaning that no matter what, everything, when he goes outside, he believes that there is a major conspiracy against him that is torturing him and raping him daily.
This relationship has a bright future. I can tell it's going to work out.
So you can just never go outside with this man. You can never be like, oh, come on, let's just go and get some fries. Let's just go and get some fries. We'll go for a couple of drinks. He's like, I can't go outside.
He's definitely marriage material, though. I can say that for sure.
Well, as soon as she found out he was in the halfway house, she knew he was the one for her.
So he would tell me about that in long, long emails about how he's afraid that, they're taking his brain and harvesting his organs. And every time he sleeps over in my house, he's trying to protect me and from getting my organs harvested.
I want to see an email.
Let me tell you, that was not the breaking point. The breaking point was the sex. Usually I will stay with the crazy person if the sex is fantastic. In this case, gross, bro. I didn't think I'd be grossed out. I usually am so good at like swallowing.
Oh, wait, she calls back. That was
As I say, keep going, Christina. You're getting to like the total, literally juicy parts. And must hear this.
I would say like I couldn't imagine the sex being that great, but this guy's mental. So it might be like he's fucking because this might be the last time he's ever going to fuck again.
Well, that could be really amazing because he's fucking like he's never going to fuck again. You'd think
That's what I'm
that'd be
saying.
great.
Or he could be completely distracted by the people gang stalking him while he's fucking.
I'm actually surprised he could come.
I'm surprised he can maintain an erection.
I bet he doesn't have the healthiest of diets because he doesn't go outside in the sun.
I wonder if he has unvaccinated sperms.
I bet he fucking does, man. Christina, dodged a bullet.
Christina again. So as I was saying before, the sex was gross though. And as you know, I'm sure I've talked a lot about the different sex that I've had with different people in different bodies. So
she's very experienced. No, she's very experienced. She's a, I mean, she was a porn,
like, I know. If she's wanting to talk about them, there is a whole new audience now, and I've not heard a lot of these stories.
Oh yeah, feel free to call back in. Rehash.
Yeah, Christina, this is your therapy. Like,
I smoke so much weed, I don't even remember the stories from like a week ago.
It is funny because I'm listening to like From the Ville, and sometimes I'll like screen record clips and send it to D, and D's like, oh yeah, Wackily had a sci-fi group. Like, you never knew it.
In my defense, I try to repress a lot of those memories. All right. My own health.
Nothing is really outrageous to me. This guy, and I used to be so into swallowing cum too. Like that was fun for me at a certain point. This guy ruined it. He ruined it.
Oh no.
And I may fuck in the future because I was going down on him. And he wanted me to bite his penis until he came. And it wasn't.
Whoa. Have you ever had that request where you had to like bite?
I have had a boyfriend actually, who liked it being nibbled to the point where he would like, yeah, you were kind of like, gnawing on it.
Like gnawing on the foreskin?
Like a dog on a schmacko, you'd be like gnawing on it. Not on his foreskin, on his actual bell end. But I would always be wary. I'm like, I'm not going to chow down on this.
Sensitive, and not to mention, I mean, couldn't it get ruptured or something, or a tear?
Yeah, you have to be like kind of gentle, but it sounds like this guy wants real like domination. He wants it bit.
Yeah, you should get a pit bull.
So it'd be all like bloody cum.
Like a little
Like what?
It would be bloody cum.
Imagine.
Yeah.
It was teething, kind of like a baby. But he really wanted me to chomp. He wanted me to bite it off. He wanted it
Jesus,
like
that's a weird
that
fetish.
badly. And I was freaking out, and he was screaming, and it was the worst.
Bite me, baby. Bite me.
I feel bad. Like, don't let this ruin you. Like, fuck this guy. Like, let other men come in your mouth, and eventually someone will come in your mouth and it'll just totally eradicate that memory. That's usually how it goes.
Well, it's kind of funny how there's like, I don't know, there's been a plethora of red flags here. Halfway home, the gang stalking, the Buddhist.
Buddhism.
Oh, it's like the biting of the dick while getting oral sex. That sounds to me like the last straw.
Yeah, and then wanting bloody cum. I don't want bloody cum.
I don't know.
I actually wonder too, are there other teeth marks on his cock? Like,
From
would you be
former
like,
girlfriends.
I'm just picturing it looking like a dog's chew toy or something.
Ooh,
You
like
know?
a Kong toy. Like a well-eared
Just
Kong
but with like all these random teeth marks in it, I would be perplexed.
Everyone leaves their mark.
But I can't. That was traumatic. So after that, I had to cut it loose. It was really bad.
Yeah.
But that's when I knew. After that, I started having symptoms and really feeling traumatized. And that's when I knew that I should get checked out and diagnosed by a psychiatrist, which has taken years, but finally did it. On a separate note, I have a quick question. I had a very upsetting time in the shower today as I looked down at my sweet pubic muff and noticed that I have a gray hair. I have a gray hair.
Christina, this just happened to me.
Let me know your thoughts.
Well, I guess this is so. You've just happened to you. Did you shave it all off, or what did you
It
do?
happened to me this week. Like, totally, this is the first time. I was like, I have like little gray hairs in the very front of like my fringe, or bangs, as the American call it. But I don't mind them because they're growing in like a flash, like I'm Rogue from the X-Men.
Okay.
So they're gonna
Shock.
be cool.
Right.
Yeah, like a shock. So I'm fine with them. But then, like the other day, I noticed that I had a gray hair in my pubes, and it totally reminded me of that Sex in the City moment where you won't know this. The chicks know what I'm talking about. There's a Sex in the City moment where Samantha, the whore, the best character. No,
Wait, is
that's
that-
Carrie. That's
Oh.
Sarah Jessica Parker. Kim Cattrall's the cool one. She's the
Oh,
only
yeah,
good
yeah.
character.
She's like the slut of the crew, right?
She is, yeah. But she's like in her 40s and she discovers like a gray hair on her minge. So she dyes her minge hairs, but they turn green. And then she doesn't know what to do about it because her boyfriend really likes a fuller bush. And she's like,
got a minge.
but her iconic line from that episode is she goes, "This can't get old." Like her pussy can't get old. It's okay if your face gets old, your tits get old, but your pussy can't get old, can it? Because the boys don't want no pussy. Is the whole moral message of that entire episode. But I noticed my gray hair this week, and I was like, "This is like the longest gray hair I have.
Did you
Like
pluck?
longer than on my head." I have it since like trimmed back the forest.
Oh, okay. So you remove. So are you saying that Christina should pluck this gray hair or just
I
let it?
was just
be
shocked
natural?
I hadn't noticed it sooner because I reckon I have like lighter hair because like my hair does kind of go like I've got like dark blondie brown hair. I would say it's very light brunette hair that I have.
So was it a gray hair or a blonde hair that you found?
That's what I spent about 3 days pondering this before I just gave up and was like, that's a gray hair and it's gonna go.
So you're saying she should pluck it?
She should
'Cause it
pick it,
comes
but
with
actually
being
no, don't tweeze it because I have also another Samantha from Sex and the City quote is that if you tweeze it, then 5 more come to its funeral. So don't tweeze it. Just like you gotta accept it.
I guess it comes to a point where it's just like just let it go and just be natural with it. What I recommend, or at least I guess I do, is finely shorn scrotum. Shave it all off.
As I say, you must have you remember the war. You remember black and white telly. So your
Believe me,
entire
I have a few gray ball hairs.
your
Shave
pubics
them
must
all off.
all be grey. Must be silver fox and
Not,
dark.
not, not actually really. The pubics aren't, but the balls. get like a
balls.
silver gray hair. So I just keep it finely shorn. Women love a shorn scrotum.
I can't have it fully all like I like to have hair. So I was due a trim, so it's gone down now. It's less noticeable, but I'm sure when the forest grows out again, why am I referring to it like I'm a Ted Hughes in a Ted Hughes? When my pubes grow out again, I'll probably notice it more.
Well, you'll see. I actually don't think a little like salt and pepper pubes is all that unattractive, though.
I think it's kind of sexy on a chick. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be into it. I feel like women just get sexier as they get older. There's no doubt.
It might be weird though if you had like a full Steve Martin going on down there, where it's just like bright.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's a little odd, like a Leslie
Yeah.
Nielsen
If
scrotum.
you're actually, I think that could be a selling point if you still have dark hair on top and then completely like gray pubes. I think that would be super sexy.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah,
can see that. I can see that.
because you
working.
got the wisdom in the pants, but the beauty up above.
I say just shave the balls, smooth, shorn scrotum.
Don't
Women
shave
love-
everything. Just trim it. I mean, it happens. You know what? It's a privilege to get older, and these things happen to us as we get older. So you just gotta roll with it. You just gotta go with the times. Just like
Some advice from Sick and Wrong, the podcast. People call Sick and Wrong hotline 323-522-4032. And keep it under 3 minutes. We'll play your call here. Big plug for our second show over on Patreon, which is really taken off. People seem to enjoy the second show quite a bit. I'd almost say it rivals the main show. I think partially because it's like, you know, we get a little personal with our lives on there. I mean, it's a limit to how personal we can get here because we got to talk about toilet paper and other very important things. But on the second show, you know, it's kind of just like
it's wild.
Personal lives. So like this week I was chatting about my Thanksgiving dinner over at Ryan Keeley's. I bought a lot of Jewish food. I bought some challah, some rugelach.
What's that?
It's like it's kind of like this like pastry. It's like a chocolate kind of pastry.
Ooh.
Yeah, people like it. You know, Ryan Keeley actually made this. I wonder if they had this over there. I've never had one, and actually I'm quite repulsed by it. But it's called, she made a turducken.
Oh yeah, that exists over fucking here. That is basically you're killing all my favorite animals and stuffing them into each other. I would be so offended. Sorry, Ryan, but I cannot be in the same room as this.
It's like a dead bird lasagna in a way.
No, this is like all my favorite animals like stuffed inside of each other. I can't handle it. I love all those animals.
Well, I was wondering, like, do they do this for other forms of meat? Like, do they take like venison?
People do it at Christmas over here.
And pig or hog or whatever, and just put them all in one big chunk?
Well, they're not really related to each other, are they? You'd have to take like the bovine family and shove all them together.
So wait, you're saying take a wildebeest and shove that with a
No. A wildebeest is a canoe.
Anyway, I talk about Ryan's turducken on the second show, but it's a lot of fun. We discuss personal stories, some current life events. We do a news story. News story this week is all about some Thanksgiving violence that inevitably occurs. I mean, that's my favorite thing about Thanksgiving and the holidays in general is the violence that occurs when you're forced to be around your family. And we do some phone calls as well. That show's released every Sunday, just like the main show, only $5 a month. And for a few bucks more, you can get the Sick and Wrong news, where we kind of do our weekly news roundup. This week, we had an article here about a woman who was allegedly caught breastfeeding her hairless cat on a Delta Airlines flight.
By woman, they mean D. Simon.
Well, sometimes Calman needs a little bit of bitty.
Bitty.
Bone stronger. But anyway, no, this woman really was caught breastfeeding a cat on a Delta Airlines flight, and they weren't cool with it. They thought it was
gross. Yeah.
There's also an Italian gynecologist who was offering to have sex with women to cure the HPV virus. The cause and cure to everyone's problems. I don't know.
Well, don't me and you both have the HPV virus? If we just go and
For
shop
everybody.
in Italian, like it'll be cured.
But I just don't know what this guy's dick was like a miracle cure. Find out on the Sick and Wrong news. Also, we do our Sick and Wrong bonus minisode Overkill. This week, Kate was talking about the shittiest death in modern history. Hisashi Ouchi.
Sashi, ouchie. Yeah, you can hear me badly mispronounce Japanese words. And there's some so if you were a Brit of a certain age, as in the 1970s, protect and survive. I talk about that. It'll freak some Brits out.
Protect and survive.
Yeah.
All that and more on the Patreon page, patreon.com/sick and wrong. We appreciate your supporting the show. Also, if you want to get a good holiday gift, there's like a Black Friday sale that's never ending over at the T Public stores. Go to sickandwrongpodcast.com/shop, click on the picture of the Pope, and buy all your loved ones some Sick and Wrong merch. Finally, here's Sick and Wrong Song of the Week. This is topical for a couple of reasons. One, Hank Von Hell, the former lead singer of Norwegian death punk band Turbo Negro, died last Friday. And I was waiting to do a tribute to this week's episode because I knew we were going to talk about toilet paper, and we could play a Turbo Negro song that's very appropriate for this topic. But yeah, I'm gutted to find out that Hank Von Hell, who hasn't been singing for Turbo Negro for quite some time, but he died this past Friday, only age 49.
It's no surprise though. Come on.
Oh my God.
Like, I know it's sad.
Wild
I'm not saying it's not sad, but it's no surprise.
It's one of those things. Cause of death is not known at this time.
It's
really.
fucking known.
Yeah. I can take a wager here.
Yeah.
The band posted to their Instagram account, "We're thankful for the times, the moments, and the magic we shared with Hans Erik Von Hell and Turbo Negro during the years from 1993 to 2009. One of my favorite live shows. I was fortunate enough to see them like when they did. Like, it was like the late 90s, right after Apocalypse Dude came out. I think it was like 98.
Yeah, we saw them on the same tour, I think. But
Well, did you
them
see them in the
this
early
side.
2000s? That was a Scandinavian leather tour, which I saw them on that one too.
I saw them on that, but they obviously toured a lot more over here.
In
Like
Europe,
you
yeah.
would see Turbo Negro were on everything every year. They would play the entire circuit.
Massive shows in Europe and in Norway and
Always
Sweden.
a fun, great band to go see.
And Hank was just one of those people that was so unpredictable. I mean, there were times when he would shove like bottle rockets in his ass and just shoot them out over the crowd. Or what was that? I think Scandinavian leather tour. He had like buckets of blood and was just like pouring blood on people.
Yeah, I remember the blood. It's like Christina mentioned Gigi. Hank definitely had a kind of Gigi vibe, but a bit more sanitary.
But yeah. But, right, he wasn't throwing shit around,
No, but he
bottle
could
rocket
have.
with some shit on them.
Yeah.
And he also kind of had that like sort of Merciful Fate type eye makeup going on there. Merciful Fate / with Kiss. But they were amazing and a great band to see live. He was born Hans Erik Divik Husby, also known as Hank Von Helvete. Hank Von Hell joined Turbo Negro in 1993, became part of the band's signature lineup. During their mid to late 90s period, the group released 4 albums, including 1998's Apocalypse Dudes, which people consider the pinnacle of their career. It's one of my favorite records, but I love Ass Cobra, the one that came out right before it.
Yeah.
I would recommend Ass Cobra, Apocalypse Dudes, and Scandinavian Leather is a fun one as well.
As I say, those first 3 albums are just like a really good fun. Great.
Yeah, they had a couple before that were like, I think they were kind of getting their sound together. And then when Ass Cobra came out and Apocalypse Dudes and Scandinavian Leather, it's like all like strong albums. And they did a couple more like Party Animals, which is all right. But yeah. Anyway, after joining the band, he started really getting into heroin and he's very depressed. The group broke up December 1998, shortly after Apocalypse Dudes. And then they took a 3-year hiatus. And that's when Von Hell went to rehab. And then they reunited in 2002 and released 3 more records with Hank, including Scandinavian Leather, Party Animals, and Retox. But anyway, we're going to end the show here with an appropriate song, Wipe It Till It Bleeds, off of 2003 Scandinavian Leather. Rest in power, Hank Von Hell. You will be missed. Yeah. People will be back next week with episode 820. Till then, take it sleazy. All right. Wipe it till it bleeds.
Thank you, everyone, for stopping by.
That was fun. We haven't done a live show in a while. This is like we're back doing live shows again.
So we're going to get back into the swing of shit.
You know,
Literally.
the problem with this live show though is that I got a new webcam, so you can actually see my face a lot more clearer. So I think maybe that might
You
detract
need
from
to turn off the autofocus on your webcam. It's very distracting.
auto focusing.
It auto focuses every. I mean, that's a good problem to have with a webcam, to be honest, because especially one you bought like 30 bucks, is it? Oh, are you
Nah,
watching it?
it's called like a, I forget what's called. It's called like a something razor or something. It's
Yeah,
a,
well, it's an autofocus.
it is, I'll tell you right now, it is a Razor Keo is what it is. And apparently it auto focuses. I should figure out how to shut that off. I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, just because it's annoying to me. I don't care about
But
anyone
it looks a
else.
lot better. Like you can see my salt and pepper pubic hair.
Christina must be like my age then.
Yeah, she's probably, gosh, she's been listening for a while. I mean, Christina, I think, started, she was a model when we had our Sick and Wrong shirts with the pentagram on it, the I Heart Sick and Wrong, or I Pentagram Sick and Wrong. So she modeled that shirt. That would have been probably, I don't know, 2011, maybe 2010.
Where's your cat at? Because mine's right here.
My cat is sleeping, thankfully.
My cat's being baby angel. He's totally like flat
Kate's
out.
trying to make me put a beanie on Cal. Make a beanie, not even put a beanie.
Wait,
Make a beanie out of a sock on
after we
Caliban.
finish live streaming, I am forcing D to get an old sock and some scissors, and we are going to fashion a beanie for his Sphinx cat.
Because that's all Caliban's ever wanted was one of my old socks on his
He is
head.
going to look like a little foo, and that is what I want.
A little foo.
A little foo. Foo's gone wild. Steps.
Food's gone wild.
When little Foo's gone wild, we're gonna like get him some baggy denim shorts and put some cranberry juice bottle in his denim shorts. Maybe a little skateboard. Your cat can be dressed up. You don't like.
I got that white. I got a white cashmere sweater for him.
Oh, he loves
Not
that.
cashmere, but it's a white sweater. He looks very smart in it. He does.
But he could wear little trousers. Why doesn't he wear little trousers, like little pantaloons?
I'm gonna get like a Slayer shirt of some sort. They must make Slayer sweaters or something for them.
Oh, for Sinks, yeah, I think you would have to get one for like a Chihuahua, and then they'll definitely make Chihuahua Slayer shirts.
Actually, that's a good idea. You know, there is a place in Glendale that sells Iron Maiden ones. They must have Slayer ones. It's gonna be his Hanukkah gift. It's gonna be his Hanukkah gift.